Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to Overwatch. So, bear with me, I'm a little ill and my voice might give out during this video, but it's going to be a short one, just to run over a few things that are going on in Overwatch right now, because we are now post-Blizzcon, which means we get a lot of information coming out after the interviews with various devs such as Jeff Kaplan and such. Yesterday we had patch 1.30.0.1 drop. This patch introduces Ash and Bob, never forget Bob, into live servers. It also pushes forward some changes to some heroes. Mercy has had her Valkyrie changed, her ultimate cost is reduced by 15%, and her healing per second within Valkyrie is increased from 50 to 60. Above to Mercy, you Mercy main should be happy out there. Symmetra has had her primary fire beam charge increased, it now charges 20% faster. Reaper's Hellfire shotguns, spread randomization has been reduced by 50% and the spread pattern adjusted. And then the Reaping, the lifesteal increased from 20% to 30% damage dealt, that's a slight buff. And Roadhog has had some pretty big changes. His chain hook decreased the delay before pulling a hook to target from 0.5 seconds to 0.3 seconds, buff. Now greatly reduces the target's momentum upon being hooked. Cooldown now begins immediately instead of after the target has been pulled. That's a buff because that means more hooks. Scrap gun. Spread pattern adjusted for both primary and secondary fire. Spread randomization reduced by 50%. Again, I think they're targeting a lot of shotgun changes in this update. And then Whole Hog. Knockback maximum velocity increased by 25% from 8 meters to 10 meters per second. Buff. Horizontal recoil decreased slightly. Buff. So, good time to be a Roadhog main. Apart from that, I don't think there's too much going on. But apparently, and this is really confusing to me, this was apparently the big reinstall update. That if you hadn't seen prior to the update, then oops. But this changed a lot of the background coding of Overwatch. I didn't see a massive update on my PC. It installed very quickly. It was a very small update for me. Perhaps it installed in the background, but something I have noticed, and I'm not sure, I need to verify this, but I think Overwatch is taking up a lot less space than it was on my system. I mean, I can check that while I'm talking, but I do know for a fact that you players on PS4 and Xbox, you had 19 to 20 gig downloads. So that's definitely a thing, and you guys probably weren't too happy about it. Honestly, I didn't think this was the big update, but apparently it is. And it's made a lot of changes to the back workings of Overwatch. And what is that in readiness of? That's the question. I think this is paving way for some big changes in the future to Overwatch. Jeff Kaplan has teased a big update. A massive update. A game-changing update. And it didn't come at BlizzCon. So there's two destinations for this, possibly. I don't see them waiting all the way until next BlizzCon, simply because this background changes come now. So it would be too long to wait, I would have thought. Gamescom is a possibility, but that's still a fair while away. The elephant in the room is the fact that we do have the start of the Overwatch League coming this February. So it could be tied in with that to create hype around the League's second season, plus get some hype around Overwatch, get a lot more of the player base getting back into the game, watching the games through Overwatch League, and you never know, we may have an Overwatch League viewer where we can watch the games in a client. Don't know, might do, might not do. That depends on League broadcasting rights. Now they're being broadcast by Disney XD and ESPN and people like that. It may be difficult to do something like that, and Twitch obviously paid a lot of money for the broadcasting rights to this. So that could be difficult, but these background changes, one, I think they're making way for the replay system, because you'll notice that the Overwatch World Cup viewer was in a separate client. You had to download it freshly, and it did copy some files from the main Overwatch file base, but it did also download some of its own. It was a separate client, so you had to go to the region and change the client to the Overwatch World Cup viewer. So that tells me that the back systems of Overwatch weren't ready for this Overwatch World Cup viewer to be implemented into the live game. And yes, it was a beta, so it could have been implemented in the PTR, but the PTR wasn't ready for it either. So they obviously needed big rejigs to get that thing working. So maybe this paves the way for that replay system. It's not coming yet. We know it's not coming yet. It's not coming until next year. But that could be paving the way for that. But I also think it's something more major than that. So could we be seeing a solo mode? Could we be seeing new social features? Could we be seeing guilds? Could we be seeing all cells? We could be seeing loads of stuff. Who knows? It's just speculation at this, right? And I want to have a look at some heroes. Some new hero releases in the future. But that'll come in another video. God, what is wrong with me? Something I wanted to touch on, we've got a few more Overwatch League teams announced. We've got Chengdu Hunters, we've got Guangzhou Charge, and we've got the Paris Eternal. We have also possibly had leaked the Hangzhou Spark and the Washington Justice. Don't know about them yet, they are leaks, they're not official. But what is interesting is there is literally nothing on Vancouver. No name, no roster announcement, no coaches, no organisational announcements, just the fact that it's owned by Luminosity. And it's going to be the Vancouver slot. That's all we know. I am genuinely really intrigued about Vancouver. We haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything. Also, another thing to touch on is DeFran hasn't quit OWL. He hasn't quit Atlanta just after joining them. It was just a DeFran moment. Stay with us, DeFran. Come on. Stay with us. We want to see you in OWL. I want to see you pop off. Come on, DeFran. I want to see it. Don't go down the XQC way of doing things, please. Please. Poor old XQC. I wish he was an OWL player still. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Short video. I am still ill. I'm hoping to bring Shadow of the Tomb Raider soon, and I'm hoping to bring more Overwatch content with Ash. But, for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then!